I've been thinking about this a lot lately, like how we are constantly surrounded by people now, like literally all the time. There is always someone to text, someone online, something happening. And still, there are these moments when you really feel alone. Not like physically alone, but internally. Like something is missing, and you don't even know what. And I think the strangest part is, it usually doesn't happen when you are busy. It usually happens when everything stops, like at night, when you finally put your phone down and there is nothing left to distract you. And that's when it hits. And it's not loud, it's just there. And maybe you have asked yourself this too. Why do I feel like this? I have people, so what's the problem? Because on the surface, everything looks fine. You're talking to people, you are connected, you are not isolated. But inside, it doesn't feel like that way. And that's confusing because you start thinking maybe something is wrong with you. But honestly, I think that's not true. I think this feeling is actually very honest. It's just misunderstood. There is this moment in the Bhagavad Gita that I keep coming back to, Arjun on the battlefield. And if you really think about it, he had everything, people around him, support, even Krishna himself beside him. And still he couldn't handle it. He breaks down, he is confused, he is overwhelmed, he doesn't even want to fight anymore. And it's interesting because from the outside, nothing was missing in his life at that moment. But inside, everything was. And I think that's where this connects to us. Because our situation looks different, but the experience feels the same. Today, instead of a battlefield, it is our phone, our constant connection to everything. Every time your phone lights up, it is the small feeling of relief. Like, okay, I'm not alone. Someone reached out, something is happening. But that doesn't last. You have noticed that, right? It fades really quickly. And then you go back again, scroll again, check again. Not because you are just bored, but because you're trying to feel something. And that's where it gets a little uncomfortable to admit, but important. A lot of the time, we are not actually showing who we are. We are showing a version that feels safe, a version that feels acceptable, a version that people will like. And it happens so subtly that we don't even notice it. You adjust how you speak, what you share, what you hide. And slowly, you start spending more time being that version than being yourself. And I think that's where the disconnection starts. Because now, even when you are talking to people, they are not really connecting with you. They are connecting with that version. And somewhere inside, you know that, even if you can't explain it. So, no matter how many conversations you have, something still feels incomplete. And that's why I feel loneliness is not really about people, it's about connection. And more specifically, connection with yourself. Because think about it, when was the last time you just sat with yourself without doing anything? No phone, no music, no distraction. Feels uncomfortable, right? Even a few minutes. And that's exactly why we avoid it. But that's also the space where something real can start. In the Gita, Krishna doesn't really tell Arjun to go find more people or fix things outside first. He brings his attention inward because there is something inside you that doesn't depend on any of this. Not on people, not on attention, not on validation. And we don't notice it because we are constantly looking outward. But the moment you slow down a little and just sit with yourself, you start becoming aware of it. At first, it's not peaceful. Let's be honest, it's restless. Your mind keeps jumping, you feel like getting up, checking your phone, doing something. But if you stay with it, even for a few minutes, something shifts. You stop feeling the need to escape that silence. And slowly, being alone doesn't feel like something is missing. It feels really quiet. And there's a big difference between those two. That's the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness feels like something is missing. Solitude feels like you are okay even without anything extra. And I'm not saying this is easy. It's not. Because we are used to constant stimulation, constant interaction, constant noise. So, of course, silence is uncomfortable. But maybe silence is not the problem. Maybe it's trying to show you something where you have lost connection with yourself. And when you start rebuilding that, even slowly, things begin to feel different. Now, you don't depend on people the same way. You don't chase conversations just to feel okay. You still connect, but it comes from a different place. Not from emptiness, but from a sense of enough. And that changes everything. So the next time you feel that loneliness, instead of immediately picking up your phone, just pause for a moment. Just sit with it, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because maybe that feeling isn't there to pull you down. Maybe it's there to bring you back to yourself. And if this is something you have been feeling too, you're not the only one. If you want, you can stick around. I talk about these things here, just trying to understand ourselves a little better.